Our top story, Mirror now continues its relentless campaign on keeping the focus on spiraling airfare. Now, the airfares for emergency travel for economy class are skyrocketing, and the airline industry is trying to pass the buck on go-first insolvency and high demand during peak summer travel season. Now, if you book a flight from Delhi to Mumbai today, the prices range from 22,000 to 57,803 on the very same day. Meanwhile, a trip from Goa to Delhi may cost you anywhere between 19,830 and 29,989 rupees. All right, let's go across to my colleague Thoya, who is joining us on the broadcast for more details. Thoya, if you could please give us a sense of what the people of Bengaluru are feeling as far as these skyrocketing prices are concerned.
Well, Hasna, that's absolutely, the people of Bengaluru are really shocked on, seeing the skyrocketing of hike on sudden hike on the airfares. Where I also have a passenger with me. So, ma'am, please tell us from where are you flying or you just flew down?
I just flew down from Mangalore. I'm Dr. Apurva. I'm flying from Mangalore to Bangalore. I keep taking, certain few, sometimes I take flights or sometimes I travel by bus according to this one. But as the flights, the charges have increased now. So I'm forced to take the buses. Because those are way cheaper. It's almost it cuts by 1/3 of the cost. But then the inconvenience is that you have to travel overnight. Yeah, so it was 1,500 before, the flight charges. It was almost equal. But now it is hiked almost double or more if you have to book it earlier or this one.
So now that Bangalore to Delhi, it's costing around 22,000, and from Bangalore to Goa, it is costing around somewhere 13,000 to 14,000. So how it's going to impact? How it's going to get impact, and how is it affecting the common man, basically?
So basically, see, I'm a resident right now, so I can't definitely afford that one. I should either book it way before, or then if it's already, like you're saying, if it's hiked to so much, it'll be very difficult to take the flight. So that would affect me in other way, as in I'll have to take other ways, either I have to travel by train or that would take a lot of days to travel. So that would take a lot of time from my own this one. So I think that way it would affect a lot.
So, Hasna, this is how, people of Bengaluru are also, facing issues. If they have to book a flight, for sudden emergency or sudden schedules, so they're facing a lot of trouble because of the sudden hike on airfares. If they want to, book flights also, they are booking 2 months, 3 months prior. Only then they're getting to what price they want. So now that sudden prices that has been increased, this is causing a lot of trouble to the common man, because most of the people who are going by flight, they will not be able to afford because of the prices that's currently, that it's really shocking that from Bangalore to Goa, it was just 1,500, 2,000, but now it's just increased 13,000, 14,000. So it is people are really shocked that how come suddenly this, the prices have increased, drastically from not once, it's double the rate that has increased. So these are the problems that is faced by the people of Bengaluru on this sudden airfare, which happened. And also Civil Aviation Minister has also spoken to had a meeting with all the airline companies, spoke to them and made sure that they will have to reduce the airfare, so it will be easy for the common man to travel by flight. Over to you.
Absolutely, Thoya Jakshi, the common man, all of us inconvenienced by these soaring airfares. Many thanks for joining us with all those details. All right, I have with me on the broadcast Abhishek Gupta, who's a corporate lawyer. Many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast. Mr. Gupta, you're familiar with the aviation sector. Help us understand, is this a seasonal phenomena?
Good afternoon, Asna. So firstly, it doesn't appear that it's a seasonal phenomena. What we are seeing here technologically seems to be effect of surge pricing. That's a technological phenomena which is deployed across various sectors, including airline. In fact, even aggregators deploy that phenomena. The simple basis of the phenomena is that if there is an increase in demand, especially a sudden increase in demand, then prices respond to that by increasing. The higher the demand, the higher the price, basic economics. But the difficulty here is that, if you might recollect, during COVID, airfares were regulated by the central government due to public policy and public health considerations. Post-COVID, on 10th August 2022, these limitations were removed. That was, again, to help the airline sector and to help the public, basically to improve the health of the economic health of the airline sector, which basically helps the general public. As a consequence, we have seen over the last few months, the overall health of the the airline sector has in fact improved. However, the present attempt to use this surge pricing technology and increase prices across critical sectors due to a human tragedy, due to the loss of 300 lives covered internationally, appears to be a little opportunistic, because firstly, you cannot use a liberty granted by you to you by the central government to profit from a human tragedy. The Indian Constitution doesn't allow that. Laws made under the Constitution which regulate the air tariffs do not allow that. They have very specific provisions which obligate airline operators to price the tariffs at rates which is best for the common man as well as for the airline operator itself. More importantly, after a point of time, in fact, it's quite ironic to see that the advisory that your colleague referred to actually expressly mentions or asks airlines to help those whose relatives have passed away in this accident and provide them with discounted tickets so that they can take back the dead bodies. It is extremely unfortunate that the government has to actually tell the airline operators to help people, Indian citizens, to ferry dead bodies from the location of the crash, from the location of the accident, to the respective home states. This should have come naturally. The government shouldn't have had to ask for this. But the fact that this is also included in the advisory shows that the airlines appear to be either deliberately or involuntarily using this technology of surge pricing without any reference to the ground reality. So it is very important to be considerate about the Indian regulatory system, the accident when viewed from the point of view of the regulatory system, and align the prices, the air tariffs for these sectors to the ground reality of this accident. Not only help the people who have been directly affected by the accident, but also those millions who are being consequentially affected due to cancellation of trains, flights, so long and so forth.
But how do you think the industry as a whole can regulate the airfare?
I beg your pardon?
How do you think we can regulate this?
I'm sorry, you broke there.
How do you think we can regulate this?
So as far as regulation is concerned, I think the first step was advisory by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, which asked the airlines to take the accident into account and then determine the airfares. See, in India, the central government has the legal right to pass rules to regulate these airfares. So from time to time, like for example in COVID, the central government passes rules, especially in case of emergencies, failing which airlines are at complete liberty to set airfares. Nobody is really interfering in the fares or the tariff between, let's say, a Delhi or a Bombay sector on a normal day. There have been instances when I myself have booked airline tickets at 45,000 because it was that close, it was that emergent. But this is not that situation. The attempt to use the same set of guidelines in an emergency situation like this is perhaps misplaced, and that is what needs to be rectified. And to answer your question, this rectification should be effected immediately pursuant to the advisory issued by the Ministry of Civil Aviation.
Right, but if you could please also help us understand what exactly do you think is leading to the spike in the airfares? Is it because of the tragedy, or as you said, there's an increase in demand, or is it because of one other airline going bust?
I wouldn't really attribute this to the other airline going bust, subject to commercial experts on this arena, but because that happened some time ago. And if there was any effect of that on prices, then it would have happened at that relevant point of time, not now. Because what has happened is on 2nd of July, the accident happened and prices doubled immediately. It might have doubled because approximately 30 to 40 trains got cancelled because of the crash at Balasore. Now, the cancellation of these trains led to a higher demand, a higher sectoral demand amongst many people traveling from various parts, because Balasore, where the crash happened, was a hub of sorts. And so, therefore, the crash seems to be the proximate reason for the immediate rise in airfares. And this has been very categorically observed in the advisory. That advisory says that there is a correlation between the increase and the crash. And please keep the crash in mind and regulate your tariffs accordingly. Self-discipline yourselves.
Right, Abhishek Gupta, thanks very much for joining us here on Mirror Now and sharing your views.
Most welcome. Thank you.